Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we're going to tell you how we felt about the Lego Movie. Sarah!
Yes!
What happened in the Lego Movie?
Lots of awesome things. But before that happens, it was a movie, had lots of Legos in it. And especially, it was about a Lego character who is a very normal Lego called Emmett. And there's this bad guy who has an evil super secret weapon who wants to destroy everything, and only one thing can stop it, and the person who finds this one thing becomes the special. The special who will fulfill the prophecy and keep the Lego world from being destroyed, and destroy this evil super secret weapon. So the movie's about Emmett, of course, at the very beginning of the movie, finding this thing and trying to come to terms with the fact that he may not be so normal, he may actually be the special. So, how I felt about this movie?
Yes!
This movie made me feel like running right home and pulling out my Lego sets. That's what it made me feel like doing. Because it was awesome, it was so fun, and my favorite thing about this movie, besides just how awesome and fun it was, was all the detail that was put into it.
Oh, yeah.
They thought of everything. So not only did they pull from all sorts of Lego sets that I had many of, and kept recognizing things.
Yeah, that's cool to know.
Which was
there's
really
awesome.
awesome.
There's a ton of real stuff in this.
Yeah. So they pulled from all the Lego sets, and they did real Lego stuff with them. And stuff you'd see the fires, you'd see the foods, you'd see, water would have its Lego-y things.
Yeah.
I mean, just anything you can think of. They did the Legos. When the horses didn't have riders in them, they had the two-piece and then the flat two-piece on top of it, so it was filled in so that, you didn't see the big U-shaped hole that we all saw. Because, they didn't have the horse didn't have a saddle.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yes! There's so much detail. And there's so much going on screen the whole time that your attention is focused on the main character and the main action, but if you look off to the edges of the screen, you'll see all sorts of things going on. A lot of it's hilarious. And so I'm going to have to watch this movie maybe 4 more times just to catch everything that I want to see from it.
And the best thing about it is, it's worth doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for, here's the fun, crazy Lego stuff. I mean, honestly, that's the easy part, right?
Yeah, but
like,
they did it so well.
They did it really cleverly, and it's really cool, all the stuff that they thought of to put in there, and it's hilarious how often we saw, like, croissant roll. Like, some of the stuff they put in there that repeated, I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
But it's also a really solid movie. Yeah. So it'll be fun to go back and rewatch it over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. My least favorite thing...
Did you have one?
Besides the fact that it ended?
Yeah.
I had one, but then I lost it because it was so awesome.
Every time you say that, everything is awesome.
Yeah. It just encapsulates the movie. We should just be singing that song and then go home because the video's done. But
yeah. But can you think of a least favorite thing?
Not really.
Wasn't a lot that bugged you?
No. Everything was awesome.
Okay, flip your sign.
Okay, well...
It's obligatory, but you've got to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it really cool that a movie that the big theme song is Everything is Awesome, that it really is this good? And it's also funny that, and by the way, we're posting this earlier than we usually do with new movie reviews, so we're gonna be really kind of more broad and cryptic than normal in this particular review, because a lot of people watching this probably won't have seen it yet. But there are some really interesting implications with that song and some of the satire and stuff that's going on in it.
Yeah.
That it's kind of ironic that you leave with that going in your head. And then it's hard not to think, oh wait, I really shouldn't like the song as much because of what it means in the context of what it's doing.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the end of the movie, it's kind of okay too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it just kind of, the whole universe turns on its head, and so everything that was bad is now good because everything's okay again.
Yeah.
So,
but that doesn't take away some of the weightiness from it either. This movie made me feel like I needed reconstructive surgery from smiling so much.
Yeah.
You like what I did there?
I do. Yes.
I gotta tell you, I had an experience with this movie. I had an emotional experience with this movie, which I did not expect going in. Good Lord, what happened? How is this one of, if not the best family films I've seen in a couple years?
A decade?
I loved Monsters University.
Yeah.
I really, really liked Frozen.
Yeah.
I love a lot of Pixar stuff. Mm-hmm. This is at least as good, in my opinion, as my favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go that far.
Yeah.
At least on first viewing.
Yeah.
I may think differently of it on a second viewing, but I'll be very surprised if I do.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where it's sort of like with Cars, right? Where I had a personal experience with that movie that not everybody had. It could happen that way with this, but I imagine a lot more people will have the personal experience I had with this. This movie ends up, and like I said, it's tough to talk about this without revealing anything in the third act, so I'm going to do my level best. But this ends up being a movie all about, you know, being creative, imagination, being a independently thinking human being, which makes a lot of sense with Lego, given that you playing with Legos and playing with you know, toys and action figures and stuff like that in general is all about being creative, being an individual, expressing yourself, interestingly kind of to yourself. It's almost like exploring and figuring out how you see the world through play. But it also ended up being surprisingly about, like, collecting and stuff too, and I was really surprised by that. These days, Lego building is so much about the kits. It's so much about, you know, you get a kit and it's got step-by-step, and how much fun, by the way, were all the instruction booklets, right? Basically, our main character, Emmett, is living in a world where everything is kind of spelled out for him. And he is this really generic Lego. And I love that, too, because a lot of the Legos do seem kind of generic. There's nothing to them until you put a personality to them. And so he's got everything spelled out for him, and that's kind of what the movie's about for a while. Is you've got this guy, Lord Business, who's taken over everything, and he has his vision, he has his imagination. He's all about making things orderly, and he doesn't like the chaos that independent thought creates. He doesn't like that everybody's building their own stuff, and it's all gotta make sense. And so he puts everybody in a box, and not literally, and he gives everyone instruction manuals for everything about how to live their lives and everything, and he defines happiness, he defines contentment, and our main character is like the epitome of that realized contentment that somebody else forced on everybody. And I just think it's really interesting that Lego is making these kind of statements when so much of Lego building these days is you have a thing in a box and you're supposed to do it a certain way. And I thought it was really cool that Lego in this movie, and trust me, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. It's a really thoughtful movie. Made me think about all kinds of stuff, and then at the end it got really simple, which I also really dug. But anyway, really cool that using all those different kinds of pieces and stuff that originally was supposed to go for a certain set or whatever, Lego in this movie coming out and saying, yeah, but you can do anything you want with them. Use your imagination, mix and match things. That's what it's for. That hit me in a place, man. I loved that. Not just for Lego, but for the grander message that was there. I loved that.
Oh, yeah. No, and I remember when I was a kid, I followed the instructions occasionally, but I was always mixing and matching and building my own thing. And that was, for me, what Lego was all about. And it was really cool to see that idea expressed through this Lego movie.
So I'm gonna say my favorite thing was that it's so freaking thoughtful. My least favorite thing is tough because I just love this movie. This is instantly probably going to end up being one of my favorite movies. And if there is such a thing as an instant classic, I think we might have one here. I think it's that good.
People are going to keep going back to this one.
I think it's that good. I think it's quotable. I think people are going to come back to this. I think there's a lot of things people are going to say. But anyway, least favorite thing, there's a deal in, and I have to talk about this cryptically, there's a deal in the third act where it gets pretty ambiguous as to, it's a little ambiguous as to what's happening and from whose perspective and stuff, which, again, I can't really talk about this without giving it away, but I'll just say that I can't decide if it's a problem or not. It might be the sort of thing where the viewer is being allowed to interpret certain things. That's all I'm going to say. I had a reservation about it at first, but the thing is, it's gotten so interesting thinking about it almost on an existential level that I think maybe I'm even completely okay with that. Yeah. So that's the only thing that stopped me. I'm not even criticizing at this point. I wish this sign got greener. I wish it got brighter, greener. I wish we had Lego versions of these signs. That'd be cool.
We should have made those.
This is going to easily be one of my favorite things to go back to, I think. Boy, did I have a fun time at this movie. And Jason really enjoyed it, too. We brought our kid.
Yeah, he loved it. He was glued.
And, of course, he had a lot of fun. I think this of course, it goes without saying, this is a really good family movie. Yeah. You can take anybody to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, ages 1 through 99, really. I can't imagine anybody who would not enjoy.
And it does that great thing where there's some things that happen, especially toward the end, that would go right over kids' heads, but they still are able to enjoy it and follow the story well enough. I think this is one of those movies that can be enjoyed on multiple levels. Sarah, I expected just crazy, absurd, hilarious comedy from this, and it's so much more than, for the first half an hour, it is that.
Yes. Well, and it's a crazy laugh out loud comedy the whole time, but it gets kind of deep into some stuff and makes you think.
Yeah.
Which, you're right, I did not expect that going in at all.
But it never gets so heavy that it's not fun. It remains really fun all the way through. And this thing, given what it is, could it get too heavy? I mean, really, you know what I mean? but then there's some places where you've got like I don't know, Lord Business is pretty in a couple places pretty intimidating. Yeah. I was kind of impressed on a Lego scale kind of thing.
Yeah, he did some pretty crazy things.
How'd you feel about the animation?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
When we first started seeing previews for this, and I want to talk a little bit about the advertising for a minute, because the advertising is really interesting now that I've seen the film. When we first saw previews for it, I was under the understanding that it was entirely stop motion. And then I started reading that it was either, I'm not sure at this point if it's a blend or if it's computer animation, but they did the frame rate such where it looks like stop motion, where it looks like actual Lego pieces moving the way they would if they were moving. Yeah,
I think it was a great choice just because of the themes that they were covering and the issues that they were dealing with. And
I was so excited that it turned out that there was a reason for it. Yeah. There's a story reason for all of that, and that's great. I've seen a lot of like direct-to-video Lego movies and things like that now, and a lot of them have their own internal logic. I think it's fun that not every Lego continuity fits together, and everything really I'm saying I feel like is a Lego pun now. They fit together. Like for instance, Eric and I reviewed one, I forget what exactly it was called, that was kind of this generic Lego thing, and it was set in a universe where the people were Legos, and all the stuff they built were with Legos, but then the landscapes were all real, and a lot of the video games are that way. In this, everything is brick. Yeah. Everything. The water is bricks. Everything is brick. Yeah. I actually question that. There's a part where they actually go underwater. Yeah. Well, there are other parts where they're in water and you see the bricks within the water making the white caps and the waves. Which was really interesting there's also, look at. Yeah, it's kind of a weird mixture of how the water works. Yeah, so, water was a tough thing, but but other than that, like I said, everything was actually made of Lego in this. Yeah. You know, it reminds me of all those
stop-motion Lego movies that everybody has made in high school.
Yes. Well, and I don't know if you know this, that is its own institution online now.
Oh, yeah.
And people have perfected this.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people in their basements making this stuff that looks professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really funny seeing that on the big screen.
Yeah.
You know, where...
But can I say, it is a good big screen experience, surprisingly.
It is. Oh, well, and there's so much going on. It's so fast-paced. It's so... You know, you're always in the moment with this movie. And... You know, I don't know, just the feel of the stop-motion-esque animation, it just helps add to that.
And don't you feel like the jokes come so fast, you're afraid you're going to miss one?
I'm sure we did.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
It starts at such a clip. It just keeps making me laugh.
Yeah.
Real quick, like I said, I want to talk about advertising before I forget. So I was really wondering when the previews, when we first started seeing previews, just how much of a character Batman was going to be in this. Because the advertising was so superhero-centered. And I wondered if it wasn't going to be like Wreck-It Ralph, where they had some kind of fun cameos, but you saw all of them in the trailer.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to tell people about the really cool surprises, but except to say that there are many, many more than in the trailers, which was so exciting for me. A couple that I was hoping we would maybe see because they are Lego properties and didn't think we'd get, and then we got them. That was really exciting. Again, I won't say what, but that was really exciting, right? Couple of voice cameos that were a big deal that I didn't expect. That was fun. But what's really interesting, and I've never said this before, Batman being kind of the thing they sold this movie on, most of the funny things he says are in the trailer. He does have some other moments that are pretty great, but they really did kind of use most of his big moments in the trailers, and I'm totally fine with it. And the reason I'm totally fine with it is because what they advertised that movie on was, I mean, it was smart commercially. I'm ultimately okay with it because the movie ended up being so good. They didn't sell the movie on the heart of it. Nobody knew that movie was going to have heart. It's got heart, you know? Like there's stuff going on. They sold it on Batman and they sold it on Lego, and it's going to get people into the theater. And it is. And we had a packed house, and I mean, like, that was great. That was the way to do it. I was afraid that Batman was going to be way too front and center. I was afraid that he was going to kind of take over the movie, and that doesn't happen.
Not at all. He's a lot more background than I expected him to be.
He was welcome.
Yes.
I thought he was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I also loved how not exactly Batman he was. Like,
and yet how Batman he was in other ways. I don't know. It's just this over-the-top crazy.
Really,
I don't know.
I think the most fun vocal performance in this, well, it's a toss-up between Morgan Freeman and between what's his face,
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Both of them are quite hilarious. But Morgan Freeman is just ridiculous in this. His character is hilarious. Anyway, what else do you want to talk about?
This doesn't really have any bearing on the plot, but I laughed every time at this. The relationship between Superman and Green Lantern.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just thought that was very amusing.
I don't know that Green Lantern fans are going to like it. But again, in the context of it's totally fun. It was pretty funny. Did you mind just how much Supergirl was in it?
No, I
guess I expected more and was kind of glad there wasn't too much of it.
I think because of the previews, I thought it would be overwhelmed by superheroes. And so, because of how much less than I expected there was, I was totally okay with what was in the movie.
There is something slightly disappointing, but it's nobody's fault. I wish we could have somehow or rather gotten a Roger Rabbit thing here.
Roger Rabbit?
Where you had DC and Marvel mixing.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish that could have happened. And ironically, it's the same companies now. What I'm talking about, in case you don't know, is in Roger Rabbit, we had this really unprecedented historic moment where we have Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny on screen at the same time. Nobody ever thought that would happen. It will never happen again. And in this, it's a Warner's movie, so you have DC characters, and they're really selling this thing on the DC characters, like Wonder Woman's in the trailer. You know, like, there's a lot, and in the movie, I mean, there's you mentioned Green Lantern. There's a moment where we see Flash. I mean, everybody. There's a lot of them in this, and of course they couldn't do Marvel because it's Warner's, and I wish somehow that could have happened. They really managed to cover that up by having so many other things. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It helps that they have the sheer number of properties in this they do, because there's a lot more license than I expected.
Yeah, they're...
Like I said, without giving away anything except for the stuff that you knew was going to be in the trailer, because we knew Michelangelo from the trailer. You know, there's a few things like that. We knew all the DC characters from the trailers. Wasn't surprised by them, but there's a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, definitely.
What else?
Without giving stuff away.
Yeah.
I say just go see it because it's awesome.
Yeah, just see it. I don't know that people are going to have the experience I did with it. It hit me in a place.
Yeah, but they'll at least laugh and see a really fun, really awesome movie.
Like I said, it is one of those things that works on multiple levels, and I think even if it doesn't hit you in an emotional place, you will be laughing a lot. And I think you'll be surprised in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You know, subverted my expectations quite a bit.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, mine too. I'm not expecting that based on the preview. I was expecting fun, but not...
Yeah, me too. I was really stoked for it too. Like, I was really excited about it.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
But I thought it was just going to be a crazy, silly romp fest.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I'm overwhelmed by how good it was.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. We sure appreciate it. I'll be back with Brandon again next week to review RoboCop. So, see us then. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Sarah.
See you later.